Coach, coming into your second year, obviously it was a difficult circumstances in your first year, starting pretty much right before the season, not having a lot of time to work with the guys. A small team, you've had a chance to recruit, you've had a chance to work with the guys for a full year now. What are you looking at coming into this second season?
I think for us, we just want to progress. This is our second block for the building block of our program. And obviously last year we improved on our previous year's record, so I was happy with that. But now we're starting to get guys in who understand the system and understand kind of the expectations that we have, and getting in my own recruits and things like that help also, because they're automatically on the same page. Well, at least you hope so. But everything's going well so far. Guys working hard, and we're excited for the season to get started.
Talk about that. You've got a lot of new recruits coming in, but there are a couple leaders, a couple holdovers that have really solidified themselves as leaders for your team. Talk about the mix and how that's going so far.
I think the guys are real receptive. It's unfortunate some of our seniors now have had 4 head coaches in their career, which is hard, but I think they're keeping a positive attitude, and they're going into this season as leaders, whether or not they're vocal or not. But I think everyone's starting to mesh together. They all are kind of on the same page, which is the first step, I think, in being successful. And it also helps that there's a lot of change. So the guys are receptive to that, and they're ready to kind of just get playing. I mean, we've practiced and everything like that, so they're just anxious to get on the field, which is always a good thing.
I know as a team, obviously, look at the preseason poll. Not necessarily maybe where you want to be, but some of that's because there is so much new to the team this year, and coaches are going to look at us, and it's such a variable and such an unknown. What kind of goals do you all have set forth for the season, or that the team is set forth for the season?
Well, I think obviously it's to improve on last year's record, but I was looking over our schedule, and I mean, we don't think there's a game on our schedule that we can't win. So I think for us, we want to be at least 25-25. I think that's a good goal for us. We made the GMAC tournament last year, so that's no longer a goal, that's an expectation. So now it is to get to the GMAC tournament, win a game, whether it's a loser's bracket game, winner's bracket game, whatever the case may be. And then once you do that, then that's the expectation moving forward. So then you kind of build from there. But for us, I think it's, we have some team goals and things like that, personal goals, everything like that. But I think for us, a realistic goal is to go 25-25. And I like to set goals that are realistic, or else, you're going to be feeling upset at the end of the year that you failed. But that's part of setting goals, is they have to be realistic, in my opinion. So
you mentioned the schedule, and that there's not a game you don't think the team can win, but at the same time, it's not a cupcake schedule.
No.
You've scheduled some very tough non-conference teams along with the conference that's growing, and some elements there. Is that the goal, to kind of work through that and to face that tougher competition and hope that it helps propel once conference play comes along?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a different philosophy for every coach. Some coaches like to get some wins under their belt early, get the confidence up. But for me, I like to play good competition, and I want to play teams that are going to make us better in the long run. So that time when we get to that conference tournament, we're not feeling the pressure that you would if you're foreign to that, or if you're playing cupcake teams early in the year. And it's baseball, really. I mean, anybody can win at any time, so typically there is no, the record might be showing you something, but a lot of times anybody can win on any given day, and so that's the great thing about baseball. But I mean, scheduling hard schedule is like what I want to do, just because it prepares our guys for that conference mentality and that conference hype that kind of comes with those weekend games.
Okay, looking in, we're only a few weeks from the season now. Obviously, we're working through this winter camp, if you want to call it that. It's not quite springtime yet, but when spring comes along, who are the players? Is there anybody that you would look at as people to watch out for, newcomers, returners, things that you're really hoping that'll carry the team in the early weeks?
Well, I think for us, we need to get some solid pitching from Tyler Honeycutt. He's one of our senior pitchers, and he'll be one of our weekend guys for sure. And he has been ever since I've been here. So, and I guess the previous coaches too. And I would say Michael Wood. He's a good leader for us for the position guys. He's our third baseman, senior. We're expecting big things from him. Last year he was kind of getting used to Division II baseball. He came from a JUCO, so now he knows kind of what he's up against, and he can help prepare the team for that. Since we're really young this year, we have a lot of new faces. And also, I mean, we have a lot of freshmen that are going to play, and they need to kind of step in and fill those roles and figure it out quick. Obviously, it's a little faster than high school, and there's more thinking, and there's a lot of different things. But so far, I mean, they've acclimated, and I don't want to give away too much, but we're going to be pretty good. I mean, I think that we have a lot of team speed. We're going to play some small ball like usual. That's kind of like my style. And we'll see where we are at the end of the year. I mean, we can only worry about us, and that's what I tell our guys. I don't like to do too much scouting, just because then we start worrying about our other opponents too much. I mean, I like to worry about what we got to do to be good. And if we play well and we get beat, then that's I can live with that. But it's when we don't play well and we're worrying about other people or other things and we get beat that bothers me. So, like I said, we'll just worry about us, go about our business, and the expectation is to get in the GMAC tournament and win some games and make some noise. So.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, Mike, coming into your senior year, obviously there's been a lot of change for some of the seniors and juniors on this team. Coach Heyne came in right at the beginning of last year, so this off season and then coming into spring is the first full year you've had a chance to work with him. The team's had a chance. What's that been like now, actually getting a year under your belt, kind of knowing him and knowing the expectations going into the season?
I think a lot of the returners, they feel a lot more comfortable with Coach now. Everybody knows his plan and what he expects from everybody, and we're starting to instill that in the newcomers now. And I think so far, we've only had a week and a day under our belt, but we're ahead of schedule. I think we're on a pretty good pace.
I know a lot of newcomers to the team this year. It's a lot of transfers and freshmen coming in. What's the chemistry like with the team? Obviously having a chance to get to work together and working through the fall and then now in the spring going into the season.
I think JUCO guys are definitely a big part of any college team. I think you need those to bridge the gap between the upperclassmen and freshmen. And we have a lot of good JUCO players that came in, and they're helping out the freshmen, they're helping out the upperclassmen, help out the freshmen as well. I think the fall, we had a really good fall, we had a really productive fall, and a lot of guys worked hard over the winter break, and we came back and it shows.
I know team was picked 7th. A lot of that is that there is so much unknown about the team. Made the conference tournament last year. What are the goals for the team? What do you see yourself? Where do you want to see the team go in this season?
Yeah, I mean, that's based off projection or whatever. We don't pay attention to that at all. It's out. It is what it is. But I think our goals are, we're going to try to come first in the conference. At the end of the day, there's nobody we feel that we cannot beat, and we have high expectations, and that's what we're going to shoot for.
I know Coach and I had talked about the expectations and feeling that the team could beat anybody. When you look at that and you look at the schedule that's set ahead, you've got a good schedule. It's not going to be an easy schedule, but do you enjoy that challenge going into this year and knowing after last year that you're going to play some quality baseball teams throughout the entire season?
Absolutely. We want to go down south. Our first weekend we're going down south, and we have a tough opponent in Limestone, but we're going to go down there and play it just like it's our opening conference game against Trevecco or AB or anything like that. All hands on deck, and I mean, we feel we can beat anybody in our conference or outside.
All right. Thank you very much.